The heart of Africa in the 19th century pulsed with the rhythm of warriors and the stories of emerging empires. Among these, the Zulu kingdom, under the formidable rule of Shaka Zulu, rose to prominence. Shaka's warriors, armed with the deadly assegai and a large cowhide shield, became renowned for their ferocity and tactical prowess. They perfected the buffalo horns formation, a maneuver designed to encircle and overwhelm their adversaries. The Zulu kingdom grew into a formidable force in southern Africa, drawing the attention of Great Britain. The stage was set for a clash of cultures, a confrontation between two very different military systems. The inexorable march of the British Empire across the globe was fueled by an unquenchable thirst for resources. Southern Africa, with its strategic importance and untapped potential, was not immune to their advances. The discovery of diamonds in 1867 further whetted their appetite. Initially, interactions with the Zulu kingdom were characterized by cautious respect. However, cultural differences and conflicting territorial ambitions created a powder keg waiting for a spark. The British, blinded by their imperial ambitions, failed to grasp the depth of Zulu sentiment, setting in motion a chain of events leading to confrontation. The tinderbox of Anglo-Zulu relations was perilously close to ignition. Sir Henry Bartle Frere, the British High Commissioner for Southern Africa, saw the powerful Zulu kingdom as a major impediment to British expansionist plans. Frere sought a pretext for war, seizing upon minor incidents and exaggerating their significance. Border disputes and cultural misunderstandings were amplified into acts of aggression. The British press echoed these distorted narratives, fanning the flames of public opinion. Fueled by imperial ambition and racial prejudice, the British began to view the Zulus as obstacles to be removed. This dangerous mindset blinded them to the potential consequences of their actions. The intricate social structure of the Zulu kingdom and their sophisticated military organization were disregarded. As tensions mounted, the drums of war beat louder. The British, confident in their superior weaponry, prepared to teach the Zulus a lesson. However, they were about to encounter a foe fighting for their very survival. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shatter the illusion of British invincibility. In December 1878, Sir Henry Bartle Frere dispatched an emissary to King Cetshwayo with unreasonable demands. The ultimatum called for the dismantling of the Zulu military system and the acceptance of British rule. Cetshwayo, a shrewd leader, recognized the military superiority of the British, but also understood the deep resentment the ultimatum would provoke. To accept the demands would be to surrender his kingdom. To reject them would lead to war. While Cetshwayo sought a peaceful resolution, the British had already begun to mobilize their forces. Regiments were dispatched from across the empire, confident in their impending victory. The British believed that the subjugation of the Zulus would be a swift affair. Little did they know they were about to face a formidable enemy. As the deadline for the ultimatum approached, tension on the border reached fever pitch. Cetshwayo made a fateful decision. He chose to fight. The Zulu king, refusing to bow to British pressure, ignited a conflagration. The Battle of Isandlwana was about to unfold. The British invasion begins, a display of imperial might, underestimating the enemy, fatal flaws in British assumptions. The calm before the storm, a moment of Zulu preparation. The horns of the buffalo, the genius of Zulu military strategy. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of human courage. On January 11th, 1879, the British Army crossed the Buffalo River, marking the start of their invasion of Zululand. Led by Lord Chelmsford, the British force was a formidable sight. Their scarlet tunics stood out in stark contrast to the rugged African landscape. The British troops were armed with advanced weaponry, including Martini Henry rifles and powerful artillery. This technological advantage fueled a sense of invincibility among the British ranks. Chelmsford divided his forces into 3 columns, believing this would allow him to encircle and overwhelm the Zulu army. This decision, based on overconfidence, would have disastrous consequences. The vast distances between the columns made communication and coordination difficult. The British advance into Zululand was not without its challenges. The terrain proved difficult to navigate, and the threat of disease tested the resolve of the British troops. Despite these hardships, the British remained confident in their superior technology. They had not yet grasped the true nature of the enemy they faced. The British made a series of critical miscalculations that would contribute to their downfall at Isandlwana. They underestimated the fighting prowess of the Zulu warriors. British intelligence gathering proved inadequate, leaving them vulnerable to surprise attacks. The British were ill-prepared for the unconventional tactics of the Zulu warriors. Their supply lines were stretched thin, making it difficult to keep their troops adequately supplied. The British clung to traditional European battle formations, which proved ineffective against the Zulu. This tactical inflexibility would have devastating consequences. The British were about to face a formidable enemy. As the British prepared for victory, the Zulus under King Cetshwayo were determined to defend their homeland. Cetshwayo rallied his warriors, reminding them of the legacy of Shaka Zulu. Zulu scouts monitored the movements of the British columns, providing vital information. The Zulus, fighting on familiar ground, used the terrain to their advantage. They were highly mobile, able to outmaneuver the British columns. As the British advanced deeper into Zululand, a sense of foreboding settled over the Zulu warriors. They sharpened their assegais, reinforced their shields, and performed rituals to invoke the spirits of their ancestors. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of human courage. The Zulus were ready to unleash their formidable military strategy. The Zulu army possessed a formidable weapon, their unique military strategy. Developed under Shaka Zulu, the buffalo horns formation was designed to encircle and overwhelm the enemy. The formation consisted of the chest, the horns, and the loins. The chest engaged the enemy head-on while the horns flanked and encircled them. The loins waited behind the chest, ready to exploit weaknesses. This coordinated formation, combined with the Zulu warriors' discipline, created a deadly combination. The Zulus were about to unleash this strategy upon the unsuspecting British. Section 1, Dawn of Disaster, the British Camp at Isandlwana. On January 22, 1879, the British camp at Isandlwana exuded a deceptive calm. The sun rose over the African savannah, casting long shadows across the tents and wagons. Soldiers went about their routines, unaware of the looming threat. Confident in their superiority, they felt safe. Lord Chelmsford divided his forces, leaving a smaller contingent behind. This decision, based on faulty intelligence, would be catastrophic. The camp was poorly positioned, offering little protection. Surrounded by hills, it was vulnerable to attack. The British made no significant fortifications. An eerie silence settled over the camp. Unseen, a Zulu army massed in the hills. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shatter British invincibility. The first sign of disaster came as Zulu warriors crested a ridge overlooking the British camp. A sea of Zulu warriors stretched as far as the eye could see. The British scrambled to respond, caught completely off guard. The Zulu attack was swift and overwhelming. With a fearsome roar, the Zulu warriors surged forward, unstoppable. The British fought back with discipline and courage, but were outnumbered. The Zulu army enveloped the British camp, cutting off their escape. The Zulu warriors crashed into the British lines with unrelenting ferocity. British soldiers fought back valiantly, but the Zulus kept coming. The sun climbed higher, casting an unforgiving heat upon the battlefield. The air grew thick with the smell of gunpowder, blood, and death. British soldiers fought with courage, but they were fighting a losing battle. The tide of battle turned in favor of the Zulus. Despite the overwhelming odds, individual acts of valor shone through the carnage. British soldiers fought with extraordinary courage, defending their positions to the last man. Stories of heroism emerged from both British and Zulu forces. Lieutenant Bromhead led his men with ferocity, outnumbered but undeterred. Their Martini Henry rifles and bayonets were a testament to their determination. The Zulus charged relentlessly, but Bromhead's men held firm. Another tale of heroism emerged from the Zulu ranks. Ketshwayo Kampandi, the king's son, fought with bravery and skill. Armed with assegai and shield, he led daring charges, inspiring his men. Despite being wounded, he refused to leave the field. Amidst the chaos, acts of compassion flickered like candles in the wind. Zulu warriors showed mercy to wounded British soldiers. These acts served as a reminder of the human spirit shining through. As the sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, casting long shadows across the savannah, the British camp at Isandlwana lay in ruins, a testament to the ferocity of the Zulu warriors. The ground was littered with the bodies of British and Zulu warriors, their sacrifice a stark reminder of the human cost of war. The British defeat sent shockwaves throughout the empire, shattering the illusion of their invincibility. For the Zulus, Isandlwana was a moment of unparalleled triumph, a testament to their courage and determination. The Battle of Isandlwana was a clash of two distinct military philosophies. The British relied on rigid linear tactics and firepower. The Zulus valued mobility, cunning and surprise. Their buffalo horns formation aimed to encircle and overwhelm. The British underestimated the Zulus' adaptability and terrain advantage. The Zulus' holistic approach and tactical ingenuity proved decisive. Section 2. Technology versus tactics, the strengths and weaknesses of each army. On paper, the British Army held a clear advantage in terms of technology and firepower. Their Martini Henry rifles, capable of firing accurately at long ranges, far surpassed the range and accuracy of the Zulus' traditional spears. The British also possessed artillery pieces that could unleash devastating bombardments, capable of inflicting heavy casualties on enemy formations. However, the effectiveness of this technological superiority was significantly diminished by the Zulus' tactical brilliance and their ability to dictate the terms of engagement. The British, reliant on their firepower, often found themselves bogged down in static defensive positions, their formations vulnerable to the Zulus' flanking maneuvers, and their rate of fire hampered by the need to reload their single-shot rifles. The Zulus, on the other hand, armed with their shorter range but faster firing assegais, excelled in close-quarters combat, their agility and ferocity overwhelming the British at close range. The British Army's logistical challenges also played a significant role in their defeat at Isandlwana. Their supply lines, stretched thin across the vast distances of southern Africa, proved vulnerable to disruption, leaving their troops short of ammunition and other essential supplies at critical moments in the battle. The Zulus, fighting on home ground and accustomed to living off the land, faced no such logistical constraints, allowing them to maintain their offensive momentum. While the British possessed superior technology, the Zulus' deep understanding of the terrain, their adaptability, and their ability to exploit the element of surprise proved to be decisive factors in their victory. They used the rolling hills and dense vegetation to their advantage, masking their movements, ambushing British patrols and launching their final assault from unexpected directions. The British, accustomed to fighting on open battlefields, found themselves outmaneuvered and outfought in the unfamiliar and unforgiving terrain of Zululand. Section 3. The human element, courage, discipline, and the fog of war. The Battle of Isandlwana was not simply a clash of technology and tactics. It was also a testament to the human element in warfare, the courage, discipline, and resilience of both the British and the Zulu warriors. Both sides fought with extraordinary bravery, enduring unimaginable hardships and displaying remarkable feats of valor in the face of overwhelming odds. The British soldiers, despite being caught off guard and facing a numerically superior enemy, fought with discipline and tenacity, their training and esprit de corps shining through even in the most desperate moments of the battle. Individual acts of heroism, such as the last stand of Lieutenant Bromhead and his men, exemplified the courage and determination that had made the British Army a formidable force for centuries. The Zulu warriors, fighting for their homeland and their way of life, displayed a ferocity and a disregard for death that astonished their British adversaries. Their unwavering belief in their cause, coupled with their rigorous training and their deep-seated warrior traditions, transformed them into a fighting force capable of withstanding heavy casualties and maintaining their offensive momentum even in the face of withering firepower. However, the fog of war, with its inherent chaos and confusion, affected both sides. Miscommunications, misjudgments, and the unpredictable nature of combat all played a role in the outcome of the battle. The British, hampered by poor intelligence and a fundamental underestimation of their enemy, made a series of critical errors that ultimately contributed to their defeat. The Zulus, despite their victory, also suffered heavy casualties, their triumph a testament to their willingness to pay the ultimate price for their freedom. The Battle of Isandlwana, while a resounding victory for the Zulus, served as a stark reminder of the brutal and unforgiving nature of war, a conflict that left an indelible mark on both victor and vanquished. Section 1. The Echoes of Isandlwana, a watershed moment in history. The Battle of Isandlwana, fought in 1879, stands as a testament to courage and folly. It shattered the myth of British invincibility and fueled Zulu nationalism. The battle's legacy extends beyond the battlefield, symbolizing resistance against oppression and inspiring countless works of literature, film, and music. Isandlwana's lessons remain relevant today, reminding us of the dangers of prejudice and the importance of understanding different cultures. Lessons from the battlefield, a call to understanding and reflection. The Battle of Isandlwana teaches humility, the dangers of underestimating an enemy, and the need for adaptability. It reminds us that victory is fleeting and the cost of war is high. True strength lies in understanding, empathy, and peaceful solutions. As Mandela said, people must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. May the lessons of Isandlwana inspire us to choose love, understanding, and peace.